Welcome, folks. So the title of this video, as you can see, is "In order to save Babylon, one must speak Babylon." Now, the translation of the word Babylon is confusion, as far as I'm aware, unless there's some magical, esoteric meaning further than that. But this is a phrase that came to me quite a while ago, and it's been sticking with me in order to the concept that society has fallen so far. And it's not their fault. It was the fluoride, it was the mockingbird media, it was the brainwashing that has been done collectively to confuse the population. And in order to bring them back to a natural frequency of proper natural living, you have to speak the language they are used to, because everything else would be considered either conspiracy theory or crazy, or this is the outlier, so I'm not going to listen to them. So you have to serenade them with things to even get their attention. And then once their attention has been sparked, they will naturally go towards the truth. Now, that could be what is happening with Kanye West, because obviously he is giving that conscious rising. He was the individual in the rap world that made the song Jesus Walks, where he says, I can rap about anything except for Jesus because they won't sell my records. So he always knew how that system was working. Now, I made various videos before about what he's been doing and the movement that he's spreading, but it's also more and more as it's going along, it's rising and people are following him. So there's two ways to see this. Either these are the false preachers and the false teachers that are about to rise, that don't want the actual truth of the message of Jesus Christ and the salvation, but rather they just want some good feelings and some good things to make them feel good about themselves, so they can tell themselves they're a good person, but continue to do the things that they have always done worldly, which technically you can say there's nothing really wrong about it, because either way they were never going to go down that path of truth and actually changing their minds and having a born again experience and renewing their mind. But if they're going to be evil, might as well be evil with a little good flavoring of what they think is truth. That could be the scenario, or this could actually be a rising of consciousness that is taking place. And in order to attract people that talk a totally different language, you have to first communicate with them, attract them, lure them with the language they speak. So then once they can understand it, they go on their own journey and they go towards what is needed to be done. So I'll play you a few videos with Kim Kardashian, what Kanye is saying, what other people are saying about him. Now, he has been a prodigy, he has done things, but unfortunately he's also said that he sold his soul. As Larry Johnson says, I sold my soul to the devil. It was a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising then if his servants masquerades as servants of righteousness. Now, Kanye West, obviously, if you're in the Hollywood system, if you're in the music industry, Satan runs it. It's always been operated. It's to brainwash the people. And he is coming out of that system, so you don't know if it's the actual renewal of the mind, or he's just one of the players in that system, brainwashing and collecting the masses to worship these false idols and go down a path that they shouldn't be going down. So we'll watch a few videos. You'll have to make up your mind for it as time goes along, but it is an interesting state of things that's taking place. As you can tell, it has a large following. It has a large number of people going along with what is being said. But at the same time, if these people had discernment, they would have been able to see if there was any falsehood there, or these people are just there for a good time on a Sunday. They want to feel good about themselves, some little motivational speeches. And that in itself is also good, because there does need to be a rise in frequency, a rise in consciousness for people to wake up and actually get away from that low vibration slump that the system has kept people in.
God raised up in the United States. He's the greatest. But the generation must continue. The mantle must be passed on. Kanye, I watched you steal the microphone at the Grammys. It's the Holy Ghost's turn to steal the microphone out of you. There's a boldness about you, my son. There's a bravery about you, my son. You're not like the others. When they cower in fear, you stand in faith.
Remember, God uses all his children from all walks of life with their own personal experiences to shine the light for others who see that individual who came from their boundaries, who came from their world, who came from their circles. And if they were able to change their life and have a renewal, that means I'm capable of doing it as well. That is the idea, that is a thought pattern that God induces for those that are capable of changing and showing people that such a change is possible from any walk of life. But at the same time, especially when it's promoted, when it's pushed, especially by a fallen, broken system, you always have to have your discernment about yourself. Remember, Kim Kardashian, those folks, I don't know if they're still involved in it, because ever since the change happened, I haven't seen it, but they're the ones that push this whole transgender. Their father is a male, is a female, it should be normalized. They're the ones that have blood infusion chemotherapy or blood infusion facials where they're pumping blood in their skin in order to look young and fresh. And a lot of people have been infected with hepatitis C and B because of those transfusions that they have done, because of these role models or so-called role models. Strange times, folks, strange times.
And sometimes at the one in Calabasas, he'll have friends that are pastors that are in town get up and speak. But for the most part, it's just a musical ministry. Get up and speak. But for the most part, it's just a musical ministry. Studio. Yeah, Kanye started this, I think, just to heal himself, and it was a really personal thing, and it was just friends and family. And he has had an amazing evolution of being born again and being saved by Christ. And he has now made it, people always ask, well, what are you worshiping and what is this? It is a Christian service, like a musical ministry. It is, they talk about Jesus and God, and
is there a minister there?
Sometimes. So if he goes to a different church where they've shown up and done these surprise little pop-up Sunday services at other churches. So whatever pastor speaks there. And sometimes at the one in Calabasas, he'll have friends that are pastors that are in town get up and speak. But
now remember, they say we talk about Jesus, it's a singing crowd, it's a feel-good crowd. All this could be so that a majority of people believe a certain concept of what you would call Christianity or followers of Christ, but then when the true people come along and they rebuke sin, they call against the evil, they call against the sinner, then these so-called feel-good Christians can say, oh no, God does not judge, God does not hate, we should not be doing hate speech, we should not be talking about the other, we should be inclusive about all things. That is the kind of trickery that these folks might be pulling on the entire population. That is why it's a dangerous game, it's a dangerous path they're going down. But as I said, that concept of in order to save Babylon, one must speak Babylon. There's a reason those words came to me a very long time ago. So maybe it is being used for the greatness of God and the greatness of the human race. We will keep track of this and find out exactly where it all leads down, folks.